Hi, this is Albert. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I am making dinner for myself. Wife and the kids have eaten, so it's just me. And I'm basically going to be making a steak. And what makes the steak somewhat different than how I usually make is I'm going to be making this as a steamed steak wrapped in aluminum foil. And basically ingredients are easy, and you'll watch me do prep, and it's super fast. I usually do this in the oven, but I'm too lazy to turn the oven on because it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to get going, and I'm hungry, so we'll be doing steak in about 15 minutes total, and we'll be doing it in the combo cast iron Dutch oven. So what we're going to start off with is some garlic, and for some reason I'm famous for chopping garlic online. People like to watch me. So start off with a knife. We'll go ahead and start off with the garlic. We want them fairly well diced, and so we'll go ahead and mince them as small as possible. One hit, remove the shell, remove the skin, I guess. I'm not sure if it's skin or shell. We'll go ahead and do that for all of them. First, light tap, and again, as always, I recommend a nice big old Chinese knife, Chinese cleaver. Mine, again, people ask me all the time, is a Messermeister. These were the guys that, the reason I bought this one is because these guys were the ones that originally were producing them for Martin Yan, and if Yan can cook, so can you, I guess. So we're peeling garlic. You know, a lot of people ask me, do I own a garlic press? I have no idea why I would. It's just yet another item in your kitchen that is, you know, as Alton Brown says, don't buy something that is a one-trick pony. And garlic press basically is, because all you do is smash in garlic, which you can do by hand with a knife. And so if you can't, it's probably because your knife is too small. And I recommend, instead of buying a garlic press, which is one item use, you go ahead and buy a bigger knife. So we have our de-skinned garlic, and go ahead, as I always show for garlic, I align the fibers perpendicular to my knife, put in the center, sorry, sticky hands, put in the center, press, we're going to hit and scrape at the same time, like that, and there's absolutely no need for actual chopping and dicing. Once again, put, line up fibers, press. Again, and this is much more fun than garlic press, you gotta admit, right? And if some people say, well, I want it very minced, well, we can do that too. Line up. And that's very minced. And you'll think this is a lot of garlic, and it is, but you know, hey, with Twilight movies and stuff like that, you just don't know when there's going to be vampires around. So we have garlic. For the size of my steak, I have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and a tablespoon of rice wine. So moving on to the steak, give me a second while I move on to the steak. Let me I do this, I watched the chef do this, and I thought it was brilliant because, especially if you have limited space. So my whiteboard is for cutting non-raw items, and place a damp towel, and my NSF approved red chopping board, and I use this for anything raw. So my red board is for my raw meat. And here comes the steak. And look at that bad boy, huh? With the steak, I'm going to go ahead and tenderize it, and the reason why is because since it's going to be cooking its own juices, I'm going to try to maximize the amount of porousness in my steak so it can absorb the juice and absorb the soy sauce, garlic, and rice wine. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a couple presses on one side. And the thing about this steak is it's going to be fully cooked. It's not going to be like medium rare. Medium is usually how I eat my steaks, but this steak is going to be cooked in aluminum foil, and so it's actually going to be well done. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, it's going to be well done. It's going to be a very tough steak, but it's not, because we're going to enclose it in aluminum foil, and it's going to cook its own juices, and they basically are, yeah, just cooking its own juices. So, here we go. Drop down the steak in the middle. Boy, that is beautiful. I'm not sure if my aluminum foil's long enough. Let me get a second one. At this point in time, I'm going to make a little house for my steak, basically, and we're going to go ahead and make a little house. Fold the corners. We'll go ahead and fold the corners, and then you want, I kind of put just a little bit of, well, I put half the garlic on the bottom and half the garlic on top. And don't worry about how well distributed the flavor is going to be, because you're basically steaming the steak in its own garlicky juices. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce for a steak this size. Don't worry about marinating. Again, you're going to have a forced penetration of the holes we made with the tenderizer. And basically, it's not too bad. Basically, that's it. And now we're going to go ahead and try to fold this guy up. The steak is not square. My chef friend who taught me this recipe actually does this with his New York. See, aluminum foil is a little bit short, so I'm going to go ahead and put on my second one here. Second one. Throw it on and wrap this sucker really well. So it's going to go ahead and cook its own juices, and so we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Now, let me see if I can walk my camera on over beforehand. So I'm using the combination skillet combo, which have the shallow one and the big one, and like I said, it's taken way too long to fire up the oven. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is throw the steak in here and do it Dutch oven style. And so I'm going to turn on the light real quick and then turn on the vent. I don't know if you'll hear me above that, but I usually cheat. And one of the advantages of a Dutch oven is the fact that I'm going to go ahead and heat both sides first before I combine them. That way I'm heating twice as fast. And so I'm basically, wow, that was a big steak. Basically going to be putting it in, and it's just going to be cooking like this. And I'm going to be putting the top on. But the other thing I want to tell you is it's going to get, if you wrapped it really well with no holes, there's going to be no juices coming out, and you're basically faking an oven. And when you do, convection it's cooking itself in its own juices. And so when you take it out, when you uncover it, be careful because it's going to be hot. That's number one. And number two, the other thing is, well, I'll show you when I do it, but basically I usually pop a hole and drain it to get the au jus out, just so that I can remove the steak and then put the juice back. And I'm not cutting aluminum, and I'm not eating aluminum, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So we have this sucker probably on medium. Let me go get some gloves so I don't burn myself. And let me go ahead and introduce something to you guys while I'm at it. This is something I bought for myself. Fairly cheap. I saw it again on one of my chefs had it. One of my chef friends had it. Love it. It's welding gloves, actually. And so, while it's still leather and you can't really have hot items contact it for a long time, it's very, very convenient because number one, you don't burn yourself on the arms, especially when you're reaching the oven, and it's fairly durable. So I like it. Throwing it on, covering it. As you can see, medium. We'll throw 15 minutes on the timer, and then we'll go from there.